listening to people talk about behavior and talk about disability in a way that is so outdated and just wrong at this point. And the only way that we get to kind of change that narrative is by people learning the new way and by people sharing that knowledge in these settings.
What if behaviour wasn't something to fix, but something to understand? Welcome to Behave, the podcast to relearn behaviour. We're Eleanor Brink and Erica Gleeson, advanced behaviour practitioners who believe it's time to do things differently. If you want to understand why behaviour happens and how to actually support it, you're in the right place. This is Behave, because when we know better, we do better.
Before we dive in, just a quick note. Everything we share here is shaped by our own clinical experience, lived experience, and the research we're guided by. We're always speaking in general terms, not giving individual advice, and we know every human and every nervous system is different. So take what fits for you, leave what doesn't, and always trust your gut. All right, let's get into it. Behave, the podcast.
This is episode 1. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. This first episode is pretty much explaining who we are and why we're here. Like, who the hell do we think we are starting a podcast about behaviour? This will give you a little bit of an idea about whether this is the right podcast for you and whether you want to tune in. So why don't we start with explaining why this podcast exists?
Well, we've started this podcast because originally we were doing little snippets of info on Instagram, and we felt like that was the wrong platform for us and it wasn't accessible to the people that we're actually trying to connect with. And we want to connect with parents and support workers and allied health practitioners and anyone who really is trying to learn more about behavior or feels like they have an idea about behavior that maybe gets challenged sometimes or doesn't quite fit. As two behavior support practitioners who have had vastly different experiences getting to this point, but have landed at the same point, we feel like we are the ones to share with you our thoughts, understanding, experience, and I think vision for what we want people to understand about behaviour and know about behaviour and share about behaviour.
Absolutely. And we are fully aware that everybody is very time poor. So we have crafted this in a way that they're reasonably short and sharp episodes, but you might be able to put them on between school drop-off and home, for instance. Like, we would love to keep developing really long webinars and things like that, but we realise that time is not everyone's best friend. So we will try and deliver these as succinctly as we can. I think from my point of view, as a parent and as a clinician, the greatest thing that we want is to be able to understand our children or understand the people that we're supporting. So we're not saying that we have all the answers to everything, but what we are saying is that we probably will give you a different lens in which to look at behaviour through and to understand it. And then hopefully the strategies and the progress will flow on from there.
Yes.
So I think in this world where there is just so much online content and everybody is a keyboard warrior and everybody in particular thinks that they are a behaviour expert.
Partly because the barrier to entry in the behaviour field in Australia is quite low. We'll call that out now.
It's a bit of a dog's breakfast, the industry at the moment. And I think over the next few years we will see some reform. But rest assured that we are specialist advanced practitioners, which is...
What does that mean?
The risk of sounding like a bit of a wanker. Are we allowed to swear on
it? Yes, absolutely.
The top ticket. What that means is that as you enter the industry, there are different levels that you have to progress through. So for anybody looking for a behaviour support practitioner, this is really good for you to know, is that there are entry-level practitioners, and then you move up the ranks to the point that you get to the advanced level. And then specialist is also if obviously you specialise in a particular area. why don't we take a minute? Not that anybody likes talking about this; it's awkward for everyone, but I think it's important for credibility purposes. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your credentials and your experience in getting to the specialist advanced level?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Sydney, and I did my undergrad at University of Sydney, Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Neuroscience, and then I did my honours in neuroscience. And after I finished my honours degree, I moved to the States, and I had an interest in disability. I ended up being a nanny and then a school aide for a minimal speaker, and his team introduced me to applied behavior analysis, which I know is controversial, but it's the science of learning and behavior. So there's some really good quality evidence-based stuff there. It's just how it's applied that makes it positive or troublesome. So from there, while I was in the States, I did my master's in applied behavior analysis. And then I became a board certified behavior analyst. In the States, I was a clinical supervisor. I ran a team. We provided applied behavior analytic services to individuals from 2 to 22. I worked in a multidisciplinary team with speechies and OTs, pediatrics, the whole thing. We were in schools, clinic, a very different care model to what we see here in Australia. But where I was really lucky in my experience there was that I got to work with some incredible individuals, OTs, but also some incredible teens and young adults who were non-speaking or minimally speaking, and really showed me what it was to do my job in a good way and to do my job in a way that was empowering and presumed competence and lifted people up rather than bringing them down. And so that was my experience there. And when I moved back to Australia, I really wanted to be able to replicate that. I feel like my experience in the States really raised the bar for what I wanted to expect of the disability industry and what I thought in terms of the quality of services that should be provided. And so that's kind of why we started Hype, and that's how I've ended up here in Port Macquarie with you and starting our business, which is providing that higher quality, presuming competence, raising the bar. Let's meet whatever goals you've got. Let's do it. I believe in you. We can get it done kind of services.
Which in my experience reflects a very 2027 approach to behavior.
2027?
Yeah, like you're ahead of the game.
Wow.
Not even 26, 20. And I just love it so much because, as we know, the rest of the industry is stuck in 2003, maybe. Yeah. So you're challenging things, you're doing things a little bit different, you're on the front foot with so many different things. So that's why Hype in particular is such a cool place to be.
Yeah, and we do more than behavior support, but I think behavior support, and that's my huge passion, is skill building, but behavior support can just be done so poorly.
Yes.
And it can be really damaging, and it's a waste of everybody's time and money when it's done the wrong way. And so that's where you and I have connected, is that creating a better standard for what behavior support is in Australia.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so now you've heard all about me. Let's hear about Erica, because she has an incredible journey to getting here.
And she loves talking about this stuff. So
you definitely have heard of her, by the way.
Really?
Order of Australia medal, in case she doesn't mention it.
Absolutely not. So my undergraduate is in behavioural science and postgraduate in autism studies, and that's undergraduate I did at the University of Notre Dame in Sydney. I then did further studies and became certified through the IABA in California in the States. Very early on in my career, I was taken under the wing of a bit of a positive behaviour support god. He loves to be called God, named Jeff Potter, in doing fly in, fly out work to Canberra, actually. So we had a contract with the ACT government, and he took a big chance on a rookie like me and completely and utterly threw me in the deep end and shaped the very, very, very values-based practitioner that I am today. So I did do a lot of fly in, fly out work. So I was a behaviour practitioner for quite some time, and then one day stumbled across the drowning statistics that pertain to those that are on the autism spectrum, and that is that those individuals are 160 times more likely to drown than their peers. And I thought, I've been doing this for a while and I've never heard of that. Surely that's a typo. Started to talk to the professors I was working with, started to talk to everyone. Was like, never heard of this. Anyway, it is true. It is the case. No one was doing anything about it. So accidentally and with no experience, I started an organisation called Autism Swim, which is basically aimed at targeting those drowning statistics and making aquatics inclusive in a range of different ways, which involved me just flying around the country and doing pro bono stuff. Quickly learned that wasn't sustainable and set it up into an online platform. Fast forward 10 years now, and Autism Swim is operating in 30 countries and is an incredible charity who I'm now an advisor for. So that was a big part of my career. I'm still wearing the behaviour support practitioner boots. So I work here in Port Macquarie where we're based, but I also have a range of clients in Sydney and Canberra as well. I also sit on the board of a few different disability-based organisations and do guest university lecturing. So the world of disability and the world of behaviour support, and I'm separating them because behaviour support doesn't always pertain to somebody who has a diagnosis, is what I live and breathe and feel incredibly passionate about and get up on my high horse about at any opportunity, which is why we wanted a platform. So you can choose to listen to it or not. So we both landed here in Port Macquarie with, yes, as Ellie said, very, very different backgrounds, but both share the same passion for the industry and both feel like it really needs to be shaken up and done better.
Yeah.
We want you to feel like you know us on a little bit more of a personal note rather than us just talking about the letters after our names. So we've got a couple of questions here, which we haven't prepared for.
No. So you're really seeing unfiltered, uncut.
I did these at a ungodly hour, and I don't even remember writing them on here. What keeps you going during the work on the hard days?
I think for me, it's remembering how the feeling of hope and excitement and wow, how did this happen that I can bring to a situation. So I work with a lot of families who have individuals with complex autism and quite high support needs. And when you're in it, you don't see a way out of it and you don't see the end. And I think as someone who can come from the outside in and make a small tweak and provide an opportunity that they were told from other people wasn't possible. That's not, you have to wait until there's no behaviour for you to be able to access the community. And from our point of view, it's like, well, actually, your quality of life is so low. That's part of the behaviour, right? And so coming in and being like, no, we're going to troubleshoot this now. Let's get your quality of life better. And their experience has been that that's not possible for them. Yeah, that's what keeps me going. It's really those moments where everybody else has told someone no. And I come in and I get to say, no, we can do it differently. We can do this. Yeah, this is doable. This is fine. It's hard. We make changes. We learn. We try lots of different things, but we can get there. And so the hope that I can provide people just from genuinely believing in them, and it's not pretend, it's true. I do believe we can get there, and I do believe there's a world out there for everybody. So that's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And whilst we come in here and talk about how much we love our job and how passionate we are, and it's not all lollipops and rainbows. Like some weeks or some days are so heavy. And in my experience, the heaviness doesn't come from the participants themselves. So it's the systems and bureaucracy, and a big portion of our job is fighting. And that to me is really taxing because I'm such a people pleaser. So if I spend the whole day in conflict mode, advocating and fighting. It's just so emotionally exhausting because that doesn't come naturally to me. But I think on those hard days, it's just a reminder of who we're here for.
Yeah.
And that our job is fundamentally, it's not our job to stop behavior. Fundamentally, it's our job to make life better for those people. And when you get stuck in the weeds, which is unfortunately just an inevitable part of the role, you've just got to keep your eyes on the prize of what it is that we're here to do, which is life betterment for the wonderful people that we support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really good point to highlight. Like, at no point is my day made hard by behavior.
No, it's not, is it?
That's
the easy part.
Yeah. It's all of the other stuff. It's when you can see so much potential and solution and a whole life that could be accessed by somebody and they're being held back from that by the people around them or the system or the funding. And you're just yelling and no one's listening. So, and I'm sure, I mean, if we have parents listening, we don't have to tell you that, right? Like, that's our experience in our role, but we know, like, all of my families are constantly fighting day in and day out for their kids.
And it's exhausting. And you want to do what you do best, which is being a parent or being a service provider or being an allied health professional, not necessarily fighting the systems and producing reports and doing all that back end stuff, because that's probably maybe not where you shine, but it's a really unfortunate part of all of our roles. So we hear you and we get it. And I guess it's just, a reminder for all of us about what we're here for.
Yeah. Okay, let's throw another question.
No curveballs
out here. What do you hope that our listeners can take away from this podcast?
You've probably already been inundated with a lot of advice or thoughts around behavior or doing things better or doing things differently. I hope that we give you a new lens to look at things through. I hope that we offer you something where you go, oh, God, I'd never actually thought of it like that. Or I thought I had tried everything, but in fact I haven't, because I actually hadn't looked at it from that angle before. That we actually give you the right information. As I mentioned earlier, there is just so much available to you and it's exhausting. You don't know which accounts to follow online and you don't know which blogs to read. But I would like to think that we use a really evidence-based approach. So we always follow what the research is telling us, but we also follow what the experience are of those with lived experience. We come with a collective, probably like nearly 30 years experience. So I'd like to think that what we're doing is filtering to you what the right information is and what best practice is in the space. And that at the end of this, at the end of listening to our episodes, you feel like you just understand your child or the person that you're supporting a lot better. You feel more confident, and ultimately you have the dream would be for you to have a bit of a toolkit of strategies that you can employ based on your greater understanding.
Yeah. And for my clinicians, support workers, people who are supporting a person with disability, I hope that you take away a greater understanding of behavior, but also an updated understanding of behavior so that you can be an advocate for your client in environments where perhaps the language or the understanding hasn't been updated yet. Because I still sit in meetings where I'm listening to people talk about behavior and talk about disability in a way that is so outdated and just wrong at this point. And the only way that we get to kind of change that narrative is by people learning the new way and by people sharing that knowledge in these settings. So I hope we give you the strength and the knowledge and the understanding to be able to educate those around you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And to finish with, just some a couple of weird questions we'll pepper in here, just to again make you feel like we actually are human and not just robots. Talk behaviour, although we are. It's all we do.
We constantly have to redirect ourselves.
Yes, back to yes.
All right, we'll do a quick fire. So, are you morning or night person?
I am awake a lot at night, but not by choice. Sleeping is not my area of strength in life.
Mm-hmm.
So where I function best is morning.
Mm-hmm.
Am I awake a lot overnight? Not by choice. Yes. But if I could choose to start my working day at 6:30 or 7 a.m., that would be my choice.
That's when your peak brain is on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm morning as well. And I'm the opposite of you in that I can knock out 10 hours.
Yeah, love hearing that. So happy. What's your secret? Just close your eyes or what?
You say? We've all got our challenges. Sleep is not one of mine.
No, but it is. For those of you who are struggling with sleep, which is probably most of you if you're a parent, I understand the impact that has on fundamentally every area of your life, and we probably will cover sleep throughout these.
Yeah.
Sweet or salty?
Oh, sweet, 100%.
Really?
Oh gosh, like chocolate breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's it.
It's actually my birthday today, if anyone cares.
This is how she chose to spend her birthday. If that's not a sign of her passion for what we're doing.
But the context of me dropping that was that I have had cake for yesterday's lunch, yesterday's dinner. Possibly I had a protein bar for breakfast because I was a little sugared out, but then I hit it with some cake straight after.
Yes.
So definitely sweet.
And it's not like that protein bar would have had any sugar in it.
No, it would have been all hell. Don't even. What are you?
Salty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me a packet of chips any day.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll smash a packet of chips.
Chippies.
Yeah.
Gotta have some
chippies. But yeah, I default to sugar. Yeah. Okay, I feel like this is probably all we need to say to the people.
Well, people are probably listening to this like, this isn't helpful. I signed up for some hot tips and this ain't it. So we will wind up now.
I don't care what you eat.
This was just our intro episode. So this was about us. We promise you future episodes will be a little bit more meaty. So tune in for the next one, which is all about debunking behaviour myths and getting the language right. Yeah. We will see you then.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Before we go, we'd like to acknowledge the Biripi people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we record. If this episode resonated, make sure you subscribe to Behave wherever you listen to your poddies and follow us on Instagram for more conversations about behaviour. Our handle is @BehaveThePodcast. Thanks for being here. And remember, when we know better, we do better.